it was said 95 minutes to upload the one lesson last night, so I didn't even bother. Okay, so now it says to simplify. So basically when it says to simplify, we're looking to condense it down if we can. Now, just looking at this, observations, what can you tell me?
You can, on the bottom two, you can
Multiply that to a positive. Or
Perfect.
by negative.
Yeah, so basically what I need to do is get a common denominator here. Okay, so the easiest way to get a common denominator,
Multiply the first one by
yeah,
negative. that
multiply
makes
the first one by 1 plus secant x. Multiply the second one by 1 minus secant x. So remember, whenever you multiply, you have to multiply both the top and the bottom. Okay. So the top becomes, and I'm going to put an extra step in here. Some of you might not need to put this step in there, but I'm going to go ahead and put this in there. I'm not going to distribute until after I write this step. Oh, that's not secant squared, sorry. That's not secant squared. There we go. Denominator here is going to be 1 minus secant x times 1 plus secant x. Okay. What do you think you do now? Distribute. So I'm going to distribute here, and I'm going to distribute here. Now on the first one, when I distribute, I get secant x plus secant squared x. On the second one, when I distribute, that's actually a negative secant x that I'm distributing. So it'll be minus secant x
Minus secant squared.
Plus secant squared
plus
x.
secant squared x. Now in the denominator,
Is this supposed to be plus 2 secant squared x?
oh, plus secant squared x. Just a second, I put a 2 in there. There you go. Plus secant squared x. I was jumping the gun. You'll see that on the next step. Okay, so in the denominator, what do you know about 1 minus secant x and 1 plus secant x? They're
the
special
perfect
friends.
square.
Okay? What do we call them?
Perfect square.
FWBs.
They start with a C. O, N, J,
Conjunction.
U, G,
Conjugular.
A, conjugates. There we go, finally got it. They are conjugates, which means the first terms are the same, last terms are the same, signs between them are different. So since the signs between them are different, the middle terms drop out when you FOIL them out. So all you have to multiply are the first and the last. So the first term gives me 1. What does negative secant times positive secant give me? Negative secant squared. Good. So now let's simplify the top. In simplifying the top, secant, negative secant, gone. Secant squared is
2 secant squared.
2 secant squared. So that's where I got the 2 from the previous. In the bottom, I have a trig function squared in the number 1. So automatically comes to mind Pythagorean identities. So of the Pythagorean identities, which one will this equal?
Tangent squared.
Is it tangent squared?
Tangent squared. Yeah, it's tangent squared. I'm positive.
Yeah.
It's a positive tangent squared?
Yes.
No. Negative.
No, it's
We have
tangent squared.
no
It's positive
idea.
tangent
It
squared.
should be
Oh.
tangent squared
Plus 1 equals secant squared.
plus 1 equals secant squared.
Yeah. Bring the negative one over. It's
So what I'm going to do is bring the secant over, okay, which becomes negative, and so it actually should be a negative tangent squared.
Why can't you just bring the 1 over?
You could, but it'll be secant squared minus 1, so you'll be off. And you could, actually, that's a thought too, bring the 1 over and then just multiply by a negative 1, and that'll take care of it. So then now I need to simplify that, so secant over tangent. So this is something you could do. I know that secant is 1 over cosine, right? So basically I've got 2 over cosine squared divided by negative sine squared over cosine squared. Now if you're wondering where the division came, remember this is a fraction bar right here. And you can go ahead and write it that way. When you divide, you multiply by what?
It's reciprocal.
The reciprocal, so you end up having cosine squared times cosine squared over negative sine squared. What happens to your cosine squareds? They're gone. You end up having 2 over negative sine squared. What do you know negative sine squared is? Well, if you have 2 over sine, what will that be?
Cosine squared.
Negative 2 cosecant squared x.
How'd you get that, how'd you get the negative sine squared to cosecant squared?
Because negative, if you're wondering, the negative sign is in the bottom, 1 over sine is cosecant. So 1 over sine squared would be cosecant squared. All right, let's look at this one. Okay, cosine divided by 1 plus sine plus 1 plus sine over cosine. So you're going to do a relay here. We're going to start. Somebody's going to come up and do step 1. Okay, I don't care who, the pen's up there. Go ahead, do step 1. Then somebody else is going to do step 2. So what is step 1 going to be?
Spanish when the first person messed up and everyone else messed up.
What is step 1 going to be?
Anybody else got it?
Common denominator. There you go. Good call. Good job. Yep. Yep. Keep going. What are you going to multiply the top? It's that first one by?
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Okay. Okay.
You broke up. No, rush you up.
No, that's all right.
Oh, I know.
Leave it in factored form. Okay. A few things I'm just going to add. I'm going to put an x here for sine x. Okay. Second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just move your squared a little bit. So there you go. And then last but not least, when we FOILed out, we should end up getting a plus 1 plus sine x times sine x. And then we kind of ran out of room here, so I'm going to go ahead and squeeze this in. Should be plus sine squared x. Okay? Next. Somebody needs to go. Second step.
Caleb, do it. Do it, Caleb.
Second step. This one's actually easier than that first step.
I know how to do it.
I did the first step.
Can I do it?
Okay. We're looking, remember, here we've got trig function squared.
Cosine squared and sine squared equals 1.
Okay?
Oh.
Somebody, cosine squared and sine squared, somebody already said what that equals.
Should I do it?
No, somebody else can do that.
Yes. Way to go. Way to go, Sam.
Oh, there it is.
Yep.
Okay.
I already changed the color for you, so you're good.
Oh, okay.
So,
You want me to add the 2 ones together?
I just want you to simplify the numerator.
Okay. Like as far as possible? Like,
Yeah.
okay.
Good.
Cosine squared plus
No,
sine
he's
squared
fine.
equals 1 plus 1 is 2.
You're fine.
Plus 2.
Oh, what were you
I
gonna
was,
do?
I was gonna put 2 sine after
Yep.
because of.
Here, we'll go ahead and switch you out real quick. Yep. Okay. There you go. Just
Okay.
squeeze it in now. You should be good. Perfect. Put that in parentheses. Okay, that's fine. There you go. You're fine.
Oh,
Okay. There was step 2. Step 3.
How do you get 2 plus 2 sine
Now,
x?
for those of you wondering, where did you get 2?
Cosine squared plus sine squared equals 1. Plus
Cosine squared and sine squared equals 1. So you have 1 plus your existing 1, which gives you 2. You
So
have
that's just-
sine x and sine x, which is 2 sine x.
So that's just knowledge that those two together equal 1.
Yep, that was on Pythagorean identities. That's one thing to file away.
These ones right here.
You got the next step?
Oh,
Next step, what are you gonna do? What do you notice in the top? There's 2's.
So 1 plus sine x.
Good, Jen.
Okay, go,
Yes.
take it out, take out a 2. You're on the right track.
Oh.
I don't like know the things though.
What you just said. You just told me that you get what you get on the top, so just take your 2 out.
But don't you have to like make that?
No, don't try to overanalyze it. Okay, there you go, that's step 2. Now what we get 1 plus sine x from is because we take a 2 out. Okay, so you end up having 2. And so now your new denominator becomes 1 plus sine x times cosine x. Okay, somebody else needs to come up and do the next step. Ah, what do you notice happens?
Another
Yeah, go ahead. You're right, Anna. Yep. So you end up having,
You got it, Tanner, you got it.
I'm gonna go
You can
over
do it.
yeah, you can go over there with the margin.
Tanner is Einstein.
Good. So 2 over cosine x. Final step, somebody needs to finish that for me.
Nice.
2 divided by cosine x. What is 2 divided by cosine x?
Is it?
Yeah, isn't it 2 secant?
Somebody needs to write it.
Someone put that.
Read it.
Go on.
Okay, 2 over cosine x is the same as.
That's the only thing that clicked in my head, that one.
How do you know that one?
Okay, now for those of you wondering,
What were you gonna write?
Wow.
Were you gonna write?
there you go. Good.
Oh.
I had to- I forgot.
I get what
So
you're
there you go,
doing.
2 secant of x. Good. And the reason why we know that, 1 over
I did that on my
cosine,
paper.
1 over cosine is secant. So then what the 2 does is the 2 just tells us it's going to be 2 secant. And so there you go.
Nice.
Okay, now, this is what I want you to do. I want you to add to your book assignment.
We're brilliant. You think it's
I want you to add to your book assignment 32, 34. Okay, I want you to add 32 and 34. Now tomorrow, we're going to continue on and we're going to look at this. Write as an expression that doesn't involve a fraction. Now tomorrow, be ready because I'm probably going to have you participate again and come to the board and solve those as well. So anyway, add 32 and 34, that is on page 317 for tomorrow.
I'm sorry.